o'clock to 3:30, and he's from Narcotics Anonymous.
How you doing, everybody? I'm Tom. I'm an addict.
Hey, Tom.
I don't know if I hugged a couple of you outside and you got, you know what I mean? It's kind of like weird. NA hugs, AA doesn't. It's weird. So if I hug you, don't take offense. I believe that alcohol is a drug, so our disease is very much the same. We go through the same struggles. I'll give you a little bit of qualification. My mother and father were very young when I was born. My mother was 14 and my father was 17. So we grew up more as friends rather than mother-father relationship. I used with both my parents for many years. Both have died as a result of the disease of addiction. And both in very different situations. My father, I was active. My mother, I was not. So I saw both sides of that. And like I used to live and live to use. So I don't think there's much more qualification. We all know how to do it because we're all sitting here in this room today. I struggled for many years. Narcotics Anonymous saved my life, and I chose to keep relapsing over and over again. I tried, riding coattails of recovery, putting the masks on, and it didn't work. For many, many years, I struggled. In and out. Tried the sponsor swap and come in and they tell you to sit down, shut up, and hold on, and like that doesn't work for me. Because there's just that stale time where you're sitting there and nothing's happening except your mind is going. All I wanted to do was use, and everybody kept telling me not to, and as a result, I would go and use. Let me see, let me catch my breath. I'm a little nervous. It's been a while since I've done this. So yeah, for many years, just coming in and out, and getting very upset with myself, going to the detoxes and the rehabs, and just not getting any kind of result. And it's a direct result of me not working on myself. And at my home group, Keep It Simple, which is probably the toughest thing I ever did, was keep it simple. I complicated everything, There was a few guys in that meeting that were chronic relapsers, and I had noticed they were staying clean, and they had relapsed like me quite frequently. Every week we would probably, get a white keychain every week, and they, for some reason they weren't. And I was invited to come over to a gentleman's house on a Friday night, and he said, we do this thing, work the steps or die. And since I went to that campfire, I haven't had to use. It's changed my life. And hopefully in a few more weeks I'll celebrate a year clean. And for me, I never thought that was possible again. I thought I was going to die as a result of this disease. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I can recover from it. Never thought it was possible. Saw a lot of people, other people doing it, didn't think I could do it. I just always, once a junkie, always a junkie. That old adage is, and it's not true. There is recovery possible. So, like every Friday night, I get my batteries recharged around a campfire in the basement with a bunch of other fellow addicts or alcoholics. And we sit there and we go over the steps, 1 through 12. There's not 13. That one got me a few times too. But it's such a difference in my life today as it was before. Just sitting down, take the cotton out of your ears, put it in your mouth, all that. I don't believe in none of that anymore. I believe the sooner you learn these steps, the sooner you're going to start to recover. The sooner you allow a higher power in your life and learn the process of recovery, the sooner you can start to recover. As a result of coming here, my daughter had to come with me because my wife had worked, and I believe that kept her on the straight and narrow. She's the first person in our family ever to graduate high school. She's going to college, and she's a real good kid, straight A student. I don't know where that came from because the apple rolled way far away from the tree, if that's the case. But I believe it saved her life as well. Just by coming to some speaker meetings and hearing people and hanging out with people in recovery, she comes and hugs as many people, if not more, than I do. And she's not an addict. But getting back to the steps, it's Mike, thank you. I hate to stick you out like that, but you're one of the guys that helped me a great deal and do every day. It's amazing the journey I've been on in the last year by working the steps and working on myself. It's something like I've never experienced. You fill that void a little bit, because I had a void in my gut so big you could like drive a truck through it, and I could never fill it with enough. So I always filled it with drugs or alcohol or whatever I could to get out of myself. And until I found the 12 steps and I really applied them in my life every day, did that void get a little bit smaller, and I felt okay with myself. And for me, that's huge, to be okay with myself. It took me a long time to be able to sit there and just be with me. Like, the radio didn't have to be cranking, or the TV was on loud. It was, I can sit with me and be okay, and that's a great feeling. Because for so many years I couldn't. I don't know, man. Just if you haven't tried Work the Steps or died, please give them a shot, because it'll save your life. I know it will. Give yourself a break, and just listen to what some people have to say, man. I procrastinated so long on going to that Friday night group with the guys, and every week I would get that white keychain, and they would say, man, come over to the house on Friday night, come over to the house, and I wouldn't, and for whatever reason, one week I did, and like I said, since that night I hadn't had to use, and that's a miracle, because that's what I do best, is use. So I'm moving along a little bit on the recovery path. I'm finding my higher power. I'm kind of getting my feet wet. I'm getting my own recovery. Like I said, I rode the coattails of other people's recovery who had, multiple years, and that only lasts for so long. I could never tell on myself when I wanted to get high or get loaded. I thought that was a sign of weakness. Now I know it's a sign of strength to be able to tell on yourself, because that's what we do. Like I said, we use. So I don't know. I'm really grateful today that I'm staying clean, that Paulie asked me to come here and share with you guys. It's an amazing journey, So just sit down and hold on and work the steps. It's a very gratifying thing if you work them thoroughly and you get honest with yourself. You'll really find the path to righteousness, I guess you want to say. I don't know. It's many doors have been opened for me since I gotten honest with myself. I've got my family back, and I got all that stuff back, and it is just that stuff, but it's my stuff, and I worked for it. It wasn't freely given to me. I had to put effort into it, and it's only through the steps that I was allowed that. And a few of the guys in this room help me get there every day. And I trust them with my life. I really do, and I know that they trust me with theirs as well. Because we talk every day. I have a bunch of guys I text in the morning, probably like 30 of them, I think, on a regular basis, and they're all different. Everyone's a different one. It's not the send all and the contact list. So I try to make it, because texting has kind of impersonal, I think, but it's tough to call 30 people in the morning. So I kind of send out a personalized text to each one of them, and it just keeps me connected, and I end up talking to a few during the course of the day, and it's stuff like that keeps me clean. I can't isolate. I have to keep myself out there, tell people how I'm feeling, when I'm having a good day, when I'm having a bad day, how I got through something clean, because that could save somebody else's life. I have to be willing to share my experience, strength, and hope. I've been coming around here for 15 years in and out, like I said, and it's very humbling to go to a little campfire on a Friday night and stay clean for a year by working the steps, and I had some old school sponsors in the past where they would want you to have a year clean before you started working on the steps, and I never made it. I always used, and jumped right into it when I had a couple months clean, and I've gone through the 12, and I've helped other gentlemen go through, and I'm still continuing to go through. And, it's something I'm going to do every Friday night as long as that group keeps going, because that's the only thing that seems to be working for me. I go to meetings, I go to my step group, and I'm honest today. I don't have to lie. I tell people if I want to get high, and they help me through it. So, they got to trust in this program a little bit, and trust in our forefathers that they knew what they were doing, because there's living proof that You know what I mean? It works because everybody sitting in this room didn't have to use today, and that's a miracle, if you ask me. So, if nobody told you they love you today, I do, and thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, Tom. All right, our next speaker is going to be Charlie M. from the Bridgeport by the Book in Easton, Connecticut. Member of AA. They meet at 7:30 on Monday nights.
How you guys doing today? Good afternoon. My name is Charlie Amaro, and I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Charlie.
Definitely an honor and privilege to be here today. Definitely blessed to be living, be awake, and be happy to be doing both. You know, it's amazing how my life is today and what it was 8 years ago. You know, it's honestly amazing. Today I wake up. I just got married about 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, we just had a 3-week anniversary, and
Congratulations.
thank you. And but no, I wake up next to my beautiful wife. You know, kiss her, make her laugh. They get the honor and privilege to go down to a rehab in Bridgeport at the Prospect House and bring a meeting into the rehab, and you know, try to carry the message, and then get blessed to have this commitment right here and talk to you fine folks. And wow, how great my life is and how blessed I really am. You know, I walked into the rooms 8 years ago with a plastic bag, a beat up old smelly pair of sneakers, and a hope and a dream. You know, I really did. I walked in here with a hope and a dream. From Alcoholics Anonymous, from Narcotics Anonymous, people from everywhere. When I was in rehab CVH, they brought in meetings. You know, people come and they bring in meetings, they tell you what the program is and everything like that. And I was complete ignorance to what AA was, to NA was. I had no idea. I remember I had no idea what this thing was about. I had no idea the love that people have in these rooms and the joy it brings in other people's lives. I had no idea that people were actually trying to stay sober on purpose. You know, like I didn't know that people were actually trying to do something like that. That was like completely foreign to me. And you know, I came in with the gift of desperation, and wow. From there, I found out what I was doing for the first, you know, from about age 13 to age 22 was completely destroying my life. And you know, like probably many of us here, you know, I started with alcohol and weed, moved up to cocaine and ecstasy and acid, and you know, eventually became a heroin addict and smoking crack in Marina Village. And you know, I was like a lamppost on the street corners. And you know, everyone had pretty much written me off. My mom found me in my room with a needle in my arm, passed out. She thought I was dead, and she just left me there to die, because she was just waiting for the ball to drop. You know what I mean? She was just waiting for things to go south, and she knew what was going to happen. Her father was an alcoholic. His father was probably alcoholic. You know, it's definitely genetic. I get that today. I get that. And but like I said, and by God's grace, that's not the course of action that I took. You know, by God's grace, I'm here today to share with you guys. And you know, so I got down to the end of my rope. I checked myself in. First time I ever checked myself into a detox or rehab facility. It used to have to be with a probation officer. Used to have to bring me down there, or my parents had to force me to go in. You know, make sure I walked through the door, because or else I was headed out as soon as they left. And you know, this wasn't like that this time. I had come to I admitted that first step. That first step, I admitted that day to my innermost self that I was powerless over this thing. That my willpower had gotten me completely nowhere. Every willpower and every fiber of my being couldn't keep me away from a drink or a drug. Couldn't, because my main theory, you know, the only time I was ever happy was when I was high, when I was drunk. The only time I was ever content with life and the way life looked around me is with the drink or a drug inside of me. You know, when I woke up sober, it was a bad day, and I didn't have anything. When I woke up and I had something, it was a great day. You know, even if it was a day like this, I didn't care. I didn't care, because you know why? Because I suffered when I was sober, and I'm sure I'm not different than anybody here. I suffered when I was sober, and you know, that way obviously has consequences. Obviously has bad decisions coming my way, and I served the consequences. I paid for all of it, and you know, I got here August 16th, 2006, and like I said, I came in. I went to AA. I went to NA. I was going to meetings in New Haven here, and you know, for some reason I went to NA. I went to NA. I went to AA, but I mainly went to AA meetings. I just found the home in AA, and I don't know what it was. It was just God's path for me. I just found people with open arms that were willing to love me no matter what. You know, like my friend up here was saying. You know, that love. You know, that love is the answer. You know, and God is love, and so what happened was I started praying. I started praying in rehab and detox, and I started asking God for help. You know, because when it comes to the point where I don't have my willpower and I realize I can't do it by myself, I needed something else. You know, I needed something else. I didn't know what it was that I needed, but I just knew I couldn't do it on my own. And my belief is I started praying, and God started sending people in my life. You know, God started sending good people in my life, and with hope, you know, and with faith and with beliefs, and with a way of life and with a way of living. You know, because there's a lot of difference in these three programs, but there's one main thread, common thread is those 12 steps. Is those 12 steps, minus a few different words, supplementing a few different words. But those 12 steps are all 12 steps are similar. They are the same, you know, and the way you might be worked are different, but the results are absolutely the same. You know, you work the steps, you get the results. You work them with all your heart and with all your soul, you get the results. And I did that. You know, God sent a man, a sponsor, had his experience with the 12 steps. You know, like the first time I ever rolled the joint, I didn't know how to roll a joint. I had to find somebody that knew how to roll a joint. Whether they paid for it or not, I still had to find that person, you know, because they had experience with rolling joints. And, you know, like, that was the thing here when I came to Alcoholics Anonymous. I had no experience with those steps on the wall. I could read them, I could recite them, I could memorize the freaking things, but until I find somebody that had experience with working those 12 steps, I was completely lost here in Alcoholics Anonymous. I was like a picture on the wall, you know. When I first came here, I was going to meetings and I had my headphones on. I was talking shit about all the people that were happy. Like, oh, look at these idiots. You know, why are they so happy? Look outside. We're in war right now, and the whole world's coming to an end. But, like, I had a whole thing in my head. You know what I mean? Like who? You know, this stupid religion. Why is it causing all these problems and wars and stuff? Like, I was very angry. You know, I was very angry, and you know, then like I said, I found the sponsor. I started working steps, and I started to realize the gift was in the giving, and not the receiving. You know, I think what I got out of this program was an experience that I only can experience it when I carried it to another person, which is a complete paradox in itself. Because the only time I could experience this experience is when I'm giving it to another person. So making it something not of my own. Like, I didn't do it. You know what I mean? It wasn't me that did it. You know? It happened maybe by accident. It happened by God's grace and God's will. You know? It definitely didn't happen on my own accord. I'd love to come here and take credit for everything I've done in the past 8 years, but I'd be lying to you. I'd be lying to you. It definitely wasn't my fault. You know, like, I prayed, he showed up, and then I listen. You know, I listen. When I pray, I listen. And it's been like, they say like everybody's a miracle and stuff like that, and like, I see a lot of people in meetings that I wish would just get to the end of their rope, would get to their end, get to their bottom, and as soon as possible. And I like to try to force that upon people sometimes, to get to their bottom, because I know from my own experience, if I wasn't completely honestly ready for this, like if I wasn't done, this would have meant nothing. I wouldn't have been there. I would have been listening. My ears wouldn't have been open. I would have had earplugs in. I would have been on my phone. I would have been listening to other people. Not people in AA. Like my mom's idea of trying to keep me sober is totally different from what AA's is. Like totally different. If I listened to my mom and everything she told me to do, I'd be drinking wine once a week, and that doesn't work for me. Because you know why? Because when I have this allergy, right? When I put one of anything in my body, it sets off a craving that's beyond my mental control. There is no stopping me. The floodgates are open. I'm off to the races, and and when I stop, like I've stopped so many times in my life, prior to coming here, I never knew when I was going to start again. I couldn't tell you, like, oh, I'm going to start this day. Except when I was in jail and like I had a max out date, because I knew that day I was getting hot. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't walk out. I walked out of jail more scared than I went in. Because I knew what was going to happen. And I knew where I was going to end up. I was getting my bed ready. I was saying keep a bed for me because I knew what was going to happen. And it's been one heck of a ride. It's been one heck of a ride. And everything hasn't been great. There's been losses, there's been grief, there's been times of struggle, But knowing that God's going to get me through it, I think that it's probably going to be alright. And it has been alright. And that's experience. That's experience. And the 3rd step and the 12th step, God, here's my will. Take my will for me. And I'll do whatever your will is for me. That's trust right there. That's trust in some power that, okay, you're going to take care of everything that I'm going to need. You're going to take care of it. I don't have to worry about it. All I got to do is worry about what you want me to do. Do what you want me to do. That's what the 3rd step is saying right there. In the 12th step, I found God's will in the 12th step. Carrying this message. Seeing a guy come from nothing into something. Like I said, the gift is in the giving. That's all I got.
All right. Thanks, Charlie. We're going to pass the basket now, which covers expenses such as coffee and the donation to the United Way, being that Yale does not charge for rent. They only donate to this foundation. All right, after we pass the basket, we're going to take a 10-minute break, followed by our main speaker. Thanks.